I'm based in Jackson, Mississippi, and right now I'm saying I'm a creative producer. And so I just make ideas happen. I maximize on people's ideas, whether that be visually, through events, through campaigns. You can call me a multi-hyphenate, a multidisciplinary artist. So I moved to Austin, Texas. I'm from Mississippi. And I moved to Austin, Texas. And while I was in Austin, I began to like fall in love with Mississippi. I started learning so many facts, like so many different things that I didn't know growing up here. And in learning all those things, I just wanted to share with people. And I had already seen you and other creatives, like black women in Mississippi, doing dope. Can I cuss? Okay, doing dope shit. So I knew I wanted to work with you, and I knew that I wanted to keep spreading this knowledge and this content and community. And so the idea of Sip Talk was born. And I initially wanted it to be another name that didn't work out. And I was just like, okay, well, something better will come along. And it did. Like the name Sip Talk just popped in my head. And then from there, it's grown from just being an idea to actually being a physical thing that people are inspired by. Thought I wanted to be a lot of things. I thought I was gonna be a pharmacist, a doctor, a lawyer. And if you know me, that's comical. Okay. I had my first run-in with creativity in college. And I pretty much did the work that I do now, but I didn't realize that it was a career path and that I could be happy in doing it. But I loved it. So when I finally got more zeroed in on what I wanted to do, I ended up having a degree in marketing and corporate relations. But I think I had a minor in journalism, and so journalism kind of showed me like through PR that I was more people based versus product based. And my sorority, I'm a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and I was the marketing chair for like all of the weeks we would do. So even then I was in programming, I was helping produce events, I was directing the music videos, I was directing like the promo videos, getting photographers and videographers to Oxford. So I was already doing the work, but I just didn't know that I could do it for real, you know. And so I think after Austin, like going to Austin showed me like, dang, no, I can make a living off of this. Because I had to make my own way of like, that's what Kim Shady came from, was selling shades, because your girl had to make some bread out there. But I also got to link up with different creatives and do photography, help my friends get on with photography. It was just like a whole community going on of people living off of their art. And so that showed me like, I can really do this. And the more that I got behind the camera, the more that I networked, I seen like what my values were. So yeah, I've always done the work. I just didn't know that it could be a career. And so yes, I'm here now doing this still. I will say that I love Austin. And moving back to Mississippi was a journey. Like I battled with myself for so long because I was producing this content or like having these ideas of content that I wanted to produce, and I was working remotely. So I was talking to him like I was talking to you, and I'm just like, okay, we could get this done. And I remember driving back and forth from Austin to Mississippi, and my friend and my roommate who I was living with while I was in Austin, he was like, so when you going back? Like, what you might as well move back to Mississippi. And the whole time I'm just like, oh, I could just do it. I could just do it from Austin. I could just do it. But then I realized that I did want to be here because I began to attach myself to communities in Austin that looked a lot like Mississippi community. Because there's an absence of space for Black people in Austin, and kind of like that same scramble that happens in Mississippi. And so I just thought that if I would plant myself in any community, that it might as well be home and the places and the people that I love. So yeah, I packed up and I came back, and that was so hard because you had that battle like, oh shit, I'm going back to the crib. Like I don't know how this gonna work out. But it's been the best move that I've made like thus far on this journey. Just because the way that I've been able to expand and connect with other creatives and keep pushing this vision forward has been amazing. I remember being really, really inspired. And after all of this, I ended up getting a job here. It's been so much that has happened. And I've been able to really figure out, I feel like, my life. I do have to kind of go back to Sip Talk. Because I didn't recognize that I even wanted to go into event production, like producing period. Like I didn't understand that that's what I was doing as far as branding goes. I just knew I wanted to create communities for people. And so meeting Nick Cave at the museum was so surreal. Because seeing the exhibition like and watching everybody be impacted by it already made me feel moved, and I wanted to share that like from the beginning. But I didn't know what that would really look like. So when we met him and he was like, I want y'all to do a call and response, I was like, I don't really know what that is, but I don't know what you want to get, but we're gonna make this happen. And so doing that event and working with so many artists and so many creatives and making a vision happen that none of us had never seen before, I think is really a physical manifestation of what we do every single day. It's like we have to go beyond the cave. Like we have to make sure that even when we don't know what it is, that we continue to push forward. And the crazy thing about that event is we didn't do a run through. We didn't do a rehearsal, like none of that. And so I think like it being that spontaneous and like being able to create with people who look like me and who have been through similar experiences made me realize that. And also seeing people's reaction to what we did in the museum, like impacting people from 6 years old to 60 and them walking up, like this made me feel so good. It made me realize that I enjoy seeing Black people enjoy art. And I wanted to continue to create experiences that made Black people feel like they did that night. So yeah, that's what's been driving me, understanding how important the impact is. And I know this is bet on us, and that's what the museum had to do. Like they had to bet on this, and I think that was something coming from a non-traditional space. And working with community-oriented people, like our processes look different, but the outcome was better than what they could have expected, And so it's just like, bet on the creators, bet on the Black women, because we got the vision, we can see it through. So yeah, Beyond the Cave made me very, very, very proud.
When was the turning point that you had that you knew that you were supposed to be doing this? Like, when did you have that moment?
Well, I knew that this is what I was supposed to do when I realized that me being in the room, that people kind of understood where to be, or like where they feel comfortable, or like it's just like every single time I have to do an event or a campaign or come up with a brand, and the feeling that you get, that you actually connect with people, and that there's a light bulb moment. Like even when I work with brands or like nonprofits and they're trying to figure out how to speak to their audience, right? And that feels so small. You're like, oh girl, it's just a little caption, like. But every time that people that I work with have an aha moment and they kind of come affirm for me, like, I need you to be here, because we think of certain things to be really, really small because it's so natural to us. So if I can give somebody a pointer and they're like, I would have never thought about that, I realize, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, because I'm allowing or helping people to see things that they hadn't like normally saw, would have normally seen if we weren't in connection. So I think every time that people see the value in what I do, I know that this is what I'm supposed to be.